Hi guys, and welcome back to Ades Workshop and another episode of the ball turning tool. We're getting there now, probably one more after this one where I actually demo it. Anyway, I've come to a bit of a stop. The tap that I need for the little insert screw is M2.5, and I've searched high and low and I haven't got an M2.5 tap. So I've got one on order, but I can carry on doing the other bits as we go along, and you'll see that in this episode. A couple of updates. Oh yeah, I've got my first YouTube sticker is proudly displayed, Everett's Workshop. Another thing, I've been asked a few times what are the tips that I use in my little turning tools for aluminium, the ground tips. So I don't know whether you can pick this up. I'll try it. So it's a TCGT 110204. I'm trying to read that backwards in the camera screen. TCGT, now I believe the G stands for a ground tip. That's what makes it one for aluminium. So TCGT 110204. I think, that's the ones I get. And I get them from RDG Tools, but they are on eBay as well. And the standard tips would be TCMT 110204, and that's the standard ones. So the let me show you the standard ones. These would be the M ones, the gold sort of standard carbide tips for steels and what have you. And the ones for aluminium, have I got one here? Yes, I have. The ones for aluminium, the little ground tips, it's a used one this, but the ground tips, which are particularly good for aluminium, you see me using them all the time, and they're particularly good on these small lathes, because the load on these tips, or the load it takes to cut, is far less than it is on the standard carbide tips. So yeah, I swear by them. I use them for steel. They don't last long on steel, but the lathe certainly likes it better. So yeah, that's just a little bit about the tips I use, answering another viewer's question. So anyway, today we're going to get on with making the little tool holder that takes these tips, and we'll show you some of that. So a bit of a change of setup. I've got the milling slide up, with a vertical height adjustment, and I've got my vise clamped in the milling slide. The part, you can just pick up the end there. I've scribed the line at the 8.3, and as we discussed, I need to machine it 8.3 down from the top here, and I'm going to go for around 1.1 mil deep. I've just had a quick measure of my step from the top down to there with the calipers, using the heel of the calipers. Let me just show that. I'll put the clock in the way now, but I should be okay. And I'm getting 7.99. So I want another 0.3. I've actually got my imperial clock here, so I go probably about 10 thou. So I'm going to raise up, let's say, if I go 8 thou, so that's approximately 0.2. I'll come back in, and I've gone 1 mil deep at the moment. Come back to my 1 mil. There we go. Right. Oh, just took you out of shot there. So yeah, I discovered why it was jumping and bouncing about earlier. I didn't have the lock done up. Oh, it was completely loose on my milling slide, so the milling slide was jittering and juddering about. So I'll take that pass over there, keep measuring, and bring you back when we're done. So I just touched off on the far side, just touching off on this side. Oh, any second now. There you go. Okay. So there we go. There's my center point. So as you can imagine, my tip is going to sit here. I don't know whether you can pick up, but the point is sticking out of the end, about 0.5 mil, which was the plan. And I've center found it because I know I want to drill the hole to hold the tip down, obviously in the center. So I think what I'll do now is put up a put up a center point, and I'll set the height just down until I touch on that bottom face. I've got my center point set up in the collet. Now it's quite difficult to show you this, but I've just put slight pressure, and as you can see I can rotate the tip at the moment, so that means that my part is much lower than it needs to be. So I wind up on my compound, on my milling slide, and try not to get into the shot here. As you can see, it still needs to come up, it's not against that back face. Still moves. Getting close. Very nearly there now, I think. Let me just... I think I've just found it. So what I'm going to do now, just bring you out of shot, is I'm going to come up just another 2 thou, so that the screw, when it goes in on that centre, will always be pulling the tip back against that shoulder. So there'll always be a bit of bias on the screw. So I'm going to bring it up. I'll just take the tip out from there. I don't want to go breaking it or anything like that. I can see if I just come up there to the 30 mark, that is my fixed height. So I'll lock everything off there now. Do a tiny centre drill in the right where that point is. I've set it up. I'm locked this way. I'm locked this way. So that is going to be the position for the screw in the middle of the tip. So I've just pulled the screw out of one of my other tip tools with the same tip. I don't know how well you can pick that up, but it's measuring up, well, 2.44, but I've got a strong feeling it's M2.5, so that's what we're going to be drilling and tapping, is an M2.5. So I got a 2.1mm drill. I've center drilled it. I'll just touch off, set a 0. And drill out the hole. I think I'll go for probably about 6mm deep, maybe 7mm deep would be fine. I'm running at 1550 RPM. Taking it very gently. That's 5mm deep. I've got a bit of oil on my finger. The screws I've got are 8mm long, but they drop in about 5mm into the thread, so I'm going to go about 7mm deep here. In fact, I think I'll go about 8mm because I don't want that tap bottoming out. Plus 7. And 8mm. I've got a tiny little countersink. I'll put a tiny little countersink in the face, then we'll tap the hole. Touch more. I think that will probably do me. Just a little countersink. So yeah, the hole is now in the right place. Now I come across a bit of a problem. M2.5 by 0.45. I haven't got a tap. Oh dear. Never mind, I've ordered a tap. And it should be here on Monday, today being Friday. So I thought, well, I can go ahead and cut the relief angles on the sides. Now, I've had to do a bit of improvising, a bit of masking tape underneath the vise to hold the parallels up while I clamped it, or positioned it and clamped it up. So, that done, we can now look at setting it over to the correct angle to line up with the tip. And that's going to be, well, it's 60, 60, 60, isn't it? So it's going to be 30 degrees, I believe. So a useful little feature I've got is that I've fitted my milling slide on a swiveling plate. So setting up the job, or the whole contraption, to the angle I want is going to be quite simple. So what I'll do is, let's just bring you out, I'll take my chuck out of the headstock, and let's have a look. Bring you around the other side. Okay, so I'll take my chuck out of the headstock and the protection plate off, and using my my digital angle gauge, I'll set the angle at the correct angle to cut. So I've had to play with my setup a bit. I had to actually swivel it the other way because I couldn't come back far enough with it swiveled in the opposite direction. The good news on that is, with it set this way round, the visibility is much better. However, I've only got the short face of my block against the fixed jaw. But it seems to have locked in there pretty solid, so we'll give it a whirl. So again, I can adjust the height. And I just want to come forward until I get a little touch on that corner. Don't like doing it this way. Let me give myself a 0. Come off the edge. And just come in. Try that at 0.2. Not quite touching. I think that should be it. Oh, there we are. Okay. Just taking the corner off there. I think I'll be very gentle with this. I'm not down to the bottom face. I'll wait till I got a bit of a flat on there and then go down to the bottom face. And I'm running a bit slow there. Ooh. You get the idea. I'll bring you back when we're somewhere near. But we're getting there now. A couple of mil to come off. Ooh. Stay there, you monkey. It's out the way of the cutter. It can't pull into the cutter anyway, so that parallel is on the move behind. Okay, you get the drift. Well, that's the one side complete. Time to spin it round and do the other side. So again, a bit tricky to show because we're now got the vise in, flipper on the other way with my handle of my vise on the other side, and I've angled the whole thing the other way to set up to put the angle on this side. So I'll just put a cut on. 0.25 is time. It's quite solid, this. It's cutting quite nicely. Shouldn't say things like that, should I? Tempting fate, I think it's called. Yeah, we've got a bit to go yet. Another 0.25. Oh, bit much. So I got the position of the other side literally by sitting the tip on the top of it, lining up the hole by eye, and you know, there isn't much clearance in the hole, so you can line it up by eye quite easily. You know, when I thought I was getting somewhere near, and just held a bit of pressure on the tip and just felt with a fingernail under the clearance of the tip until I didn't feel a step or a perceivable step. But yeah, I can tell I got a bit to go yet. I'm actually climbing across the bottom face now. Not that it's much of a bottom face, it's more of a facing cut than anything, but I've tried it the other way, and this seems to jump about a lot less going this way, even though I'm only taking time a little bit, so I'm only climbing over a very small portion of the outside of the tool, as it were. So yeah, I'll keep going. I got a bit of a visual now, so I can tell when I'm getting close to depth. It's throwing up a little burr on the top of there, which just because the cutter is right on the edge, but I can just wipe it away. So yeah, if I get the tip now. Where are you? There we are. Place it in its spot. Oh, I got it first time that time. I don't know whether you can pick that up, but as you can see, let me see if I can get a bit closer. Yeah, you can see I've got, you know, what is it? Probably a millimetre, I'd say, to come off on that face. So I'll keep going. Okay, well, that's as far as I can go at the moment. Obviously I can do a bit of polishing and what have you around the place and get this step correct. Until my M2.5 tap comes in, I can't fasten the tip, which means I can't try it out. I can't check the center height. There's not much I can do at the moment. So yeah, I mean, I can you know, start refining some of the details, getting it to look nice, you know, all these sorts of things. I don't know what I'm going to do with the back edge here. I may just slope it away. But while that metal's there, it gives me the opportunity. I think I need to try it out first and then go from there. Well, I think that's about it for this episode, guys. I'm waiting on that tap to come in now, and once that tap comes in, I think the next one will be actually trying it all out to see if it works, to see if I want to change anything, modify anything. Before I polish it all up, we'll give it a try out and try and make the ball that goes on the end of the handle. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, and we'll see you all soon. Cheers now.